hitting the 400 for Expo was like almost like a gym PB. Like it was.
Yeah.
Didn't have that emotional value of what this did.
Yeah.
You know, obviously.
That shows, doesn't it, though, how powerful the build-up actually is.
Yeah, and you've got to get that right. You can't. I think you can be very overstimulated or understimulated. Like we said, there's so many techniques to get yourself in there. Not everyone's the same. I know me and you share a very similar way in building up to things via songs and music and things that are personal to us. And everyone's got their own way of doing it.
Just whilst you say that, share your song and why. What is it and why?
So I can always forget the name of the song, but I've got to say
you got it on your phone,
yeah. So obviously not so long ago I lost my granddad, and they played this song at his funeral, and I hadn't heard it too many times. It's a song from, I think it's Les Mis, and they played it at the funeral, and yeah, it was strange because I wasn't that close to my granddad at all, but God, when that came on, I was like, couldn't stop. Do you know what I mean? That hit me then. I was like, up until that point, I was like pretty, it's hard to describe the feeling, but I wasn't crying.
Controlled.
I was controlled. I was controlled because I was staying strong. I didn't want to seem upset in front of my dad. And then when that
was it your dad's dad? Or?
Yeah, it was my dad's dad who we lost. And when that came on, I mean, I was absolutely bawling. I couldn't stop. I was like shaking because it had such an you know, when music hits the tone of the room and the imagery it can create in your mind, and just and I think that put it. I felt very vulnerable at that time, but as soon as we left, I made sure I listened to that song again in the car, because you know you hear people, oh well, they played that at so and so's funeral, so I can't listen to it anymore. I didn't want that effect.
That's interesting.
So the next day on the way to work, I mean, I have a long commute, so I put that song in the car and made myself listen to it. So I didn't desensitize myself. So I could not. So every time it comes on, I don't want to go, oh, turn it off. No, I can't listen to that. It's enjoy that. Take the, do you know what I mean? Appreciate the value of that.
It takes you back to that moment, doesn't it?
Yeah, and I think just before walking out, before that deadlift, obviously it was a very emotional, upsetting time, but it was more the power of the song and how just one song controlled my body and emotions. I managed, because I'd listened to that song over and over, I'd almost managed to switch it into right, let's use this song. Let's, obviously, he's watching, let's make him proud. Use the value of and the emotions I got from listening to that the first time and turn it into something positive. And it changed. When I listened to that song, and when I listened to it then, it just changed me. Those first, that minute before I went out, I was like, right, that's it now. I'm doing it. No one can stop me. No one can stop me. I'm doing it now.
I always look at that incident and what you're explaining there is like an act.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you hear a tune, you act away.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It was like a stimulus and a response kind of thing. Yeah.
It's like that's the moment that this happens, whatever this may be.
So no matter what's going on, that was like.
Yeah.
That's the switch on.
But isn't that, like, to think about, so insanely powerful?
Oh yeah.
Like, to think that can do that. But it's like, you know, obviously we're drawn by our senses, aren't we?
Yeah.
You know, and smells.
Yeah.
I'm sure, like, you know, I mean, I can't smell anymore. It's quite sad to still admit after how many years. But, you know, like, certain smells trigger you in certain ways, don't they?
Oh yeah. Like certain perfumes and certain
just remind you of
things
people. And you know what? It could, sometimes, not to be horrible, there could be people that don't mean anything to you.
Yeah.
It just trigger that you go, I remember that person from that.
Yeah.
You know, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
But yeah, things like that I think are really, really powerful to understand the power behind it, so you can use it to your advantage.
Yeah, if you can get that right, it's an unstoppable force. Yeah. Definitely.
And I know we've spoke about this before on the podcast randomly about something, but it's like that thing that they say about a woman, like if there's a baby under a car, you know, that just as a superpower, like it's just like that is the moment she needs to act.
Yeah.
You know, and I think they say it as a woman under a car because they think a woman can't lift a car, which is probably a sexist way of putting at it. But do you know what I'm saying? It's that whole thing is about you can do anything you need to do.
Yeah, well, they say like if it's like
60%,
you only ever act it like it's like 60 or 80% of your like I don't know the technical term.
What's this for?
In even if you try to push yourself in the gym, you'd only ever use like 80%, recruit 80% of motor neurons. Where if you're put in that life, death, fight or flight situation, you've got it. You can do things that you can never believe you could do.